My question to both of you would be is when you go to the store and you're buying a bag of chips, box of cookies, any of those things that are going to be prepackaged, at what frequency are you buying family-sized portions of things, intending it to be only for you?
Yeah, I have a family,
but you don't get to use them right now.
I mean,
I get the biggest size. Look,
and you don't.
I'm not gonna. Right? No. That bag of Doritos is for me. What happens
to the family size bag after it gets home? That's for
God
and Johnny to sort out. Yeah. But at the store, Johnny can show a picture of his kid to the cashier and go like, "I got a family. I need this."
Yeah, grown boy at home.
We were at your house eating a lot of really great food one night, and your son came home in quite the mood. And he came in and he saw our food, and I about had to put him in his place and be like, "That's not for you, Jude. This is what your daddy's friends eat. None of the bagel bites, even though it might have been kids' food.
He would never touch a bagel bite.
Yeah, he wasn't going to eat our
food. He walked over there and he's like, "Man, I don't see any nuggies here. I'm moving on." And it was a short-lived trip to the buffet.
We didn't have any plain Ruffles or chicken nuggets, so he was out.
Yeah, he said no thanks. But yeah, family-sized portions. Like that's like
same with cereal.
Well, let's be honest. Like what family is being fed off of a family-sized portion of something is my question.
I mean, I'm sure there's some families out there.
Yeah.
I don't know them. I don't want to know them.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't. I'm a procrastinator, so I try to go to the grocery store as little as possible.
That is exactly
which means
get the thing that will last longest.
Yeah, like I need to. I mean, I'm in an apartment that's relatively small. Hopefully, not for very much longer. But like the idea, like I want to get like a Sam's Club card. I want to go. Well, we don't really have a Costco here, but it's basically the same thing.
They're building a Costco by my house.
All right, well there you go. Never mind.
Close to yours ish.
But like I am all about.
That's super close.
I'm all about that bulk lifestyle, you know.
Mm-hmm.
In all things.
Quick sidebar.
Sure.
My parents go to Costco, and every time they do, I ask them, hey, do you need any peanut butter? Which we always do. And they always get us giant jars of Skippy, and then my dad will get me jerky.
Skippy?
And yeah, Skippy's the best peanut butter.
I don't think so, but okay.
It's the creamiest. Anyway, this last time they went, like he's forgotten the last couple of times, and he made up for all that. This man brought me 6 like economy-sized bags of jerky, of like 3 different flavors, 2 bags of each.
Did you take Johnny? That?
No, Bobby.
So Johnny's just jerking it every night.
Yeah, I've gone through 2 bags already.
God, I bet you were just a joy to be around.
Always.
Speaking of joys to be around, you found the casual hour. I'm Bobby. The non-jerky jerk of the group is Chase Kinnicky, the gamer on the go, and the jerky jerk is Johnny.
Hi.
We decided to make another special episode of our show tonight because, lo and behold, despite popular belief, people are talking about video games in the year
not
2022.
E3.
So many goddamn video games.
We were like, hey, you know what? We're going to push our What You've Been Playing segment. We're going to cover a few of these shows last week. And we're like, oh, wait, there's a lot more.
Mhm.
Maybe too much.
A lot more.
But
A lot.
tonight,
we're not even covering all the shows.
We're not covering all the shows, and we're not covering everything from the shows. But
Oh,
tonight,
God, no.
we're going to be talking about the Netflix Geeked Week gaming segment, the Wholesome Direct. We're going to talk about the Xbox Bethesda Showcase. We're going to talk about the PC Gaming Show, and we'll maybe tease a little bit of some stuff from the Steam Next Fest. So a lot to get into. We're going to break it up similar to last episode. So if you are finding this one first, go back, listen to 276 if you want. We cover the Summer Game Fest. We covered Devolver Digital.
Sony State of Play.
Sony State of Play. We covered a few of those things on last week's episode. So we've got a
Day of
part
the
A.
Devs.
Yep, for sure. And we're going to do the same thing. Chase is going to take us through the Netflix and Wholesome Direct portion. Johnny's going to talk about what Xbox had to say. And then I'll round the corner with the PC Gaming Show and the Steam Next Fest content tonight. So cozy up, get comfortable. We got a lot to dig into. And Chase, Netflix, what's going on there? They're gamers
Yeah,
now?
is this the second year? And maybe they've done Geek Week multiple times, but this kind of game focused hour of content, I feel like they only have done in the past couple of years.
Yeah, like I don't think they've done a lot of stuff with games, but they've definitely done like our geeky TV shows that we think geeks would like.
Right. So this was Keighley again, Hawken Summer Game Fest as well, and then I think the lady was from Netflix itself.
Okay.
Wasn't not too sure about that. I thought it was fine. It was a fine show. They do what they do. They had some banter. Some of it was a little inane, but that's okay. But what was interesting is that I'm pretty sure everything they showed was stuff that was coming to mobile through this new Netflix strategy, I guess. Like the last time they did something like this, it was more about here are games that are getting TV shows. I think that's where we learned about the Cuphead TV show, like another season of Castlevania, that kind of stuff. And then I think they also showed off things like the Stranger Things game that came out.
I mean, they've had games, but nothing.
They've published games, but now this is like, hey, Netflix is also a platform or kind of a platform.
Yeah, you'll have access to this.
They had that one game that you played through the Netflix app,
right,
2 or 3 years ago.
And they've had some like choose your own adventure story kind of things that have been built into Netflix as well, like the Black Mirror one. But this seemed a little bit different. It's a new initiative that is, hey, we're just kind of, it's almost like they're sponsoring games. It's like they're doing their own kind of Apple Arcade. Yeah. This weird kind of shadow Apple Arcade where these games show up on the App Store, but when you try to open them, they're like, oh, just throw in your Netflix subscription, username and password, and then you can play this game for free. And if you don't have a Netflix account, like me, after since 2 weeks ago, you try to load up some of these games and go, oh, well, fuck, okay. But I'm staying strong. I decided I don't need Netflix anymore, and at least not for a while. So I don't get to play any of these. Anyway, let's move on to what the actual stuff was in the show. Again, we're not covering everything. We're being a little choosy on some of these. They showed off the Queen's Gambit chess, which
that's just chess with more.
Is that just chess?
It's just chess.
Which I think is great. They sell Queen's Gambit the game.
The board game, which is not chess. I learned that. And people are pissed that it wasn't chess.
Yep.
So instead they said, well, fuck it, I guess we'll just make chess. Yep. Which now other people can joke that why does it even need to be branded with the Queen's Gambit? What the fuck are you doing?
Call it fucking chess.
It does seem like there are some story things in there. There are some iconic locations, like the orphanage she grew up in, where you can also play chess in these environments. Ooh.
Nice.
But then maybe like some challenge puzzle stuff, which we've seen with chess games before. Here's like a scenario, and you have to try to work your way out of it. Also, not a whole lot of dates on any of these things. Some of these things are out now. Some of these things are out at some point. They didn't do a very good job of telling you when,
Not even
or
like a
even where some of
year.
these things are.
No, I mean, like, well, Chase will talk about it, but there's certain games that are absolutely out. There's
Yeah.
other games that we'll talk about in other capacities that are coming out, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was very vague.
It really was. It was kind of an odd show, especially juxtaposed to some of these other shows that were very, very clear on this is what it's coming out on. This is when it's coming out. Here's all the information you need to know. But let's run through these here. Lucky Luna is a game that's also coming to iOS and Android. It is from Snowman, the developer behind the Alto games, and it looks it's like a puzzle game, and you're kind of trying to navigate these areas with jumps and with spins and trying to get on platforms that move around. Trying to think of a game that's kind of like, I mean, it feels a little bit like a Downwelly kind of thing, just by the fact that you're doing some platforming in a vertical format. But
I'm curious
it's kind of its own thing.
What that's going to do, because they had Where Cards Fall was completely funded by Apple, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks like one of the first games on there. They've got all their other Alto games on
Apple Arcade, yeah.
Apple Arcade now.
Plus versions of them, yeah.
And now this game will not be on Apple Arcade. Or maybe it will be. I don't know how that will work out. Like, Apple is really weird about what games go on arcade and what games do not. So we'll see. But I know that they've worked with them in some capacity.
Yeah. That was the other thing with all these Netflix games. They said no in-app purchases. Like, these are just games. And it was like, okay, well, that's just Apple Arcade with extra steps, I guess. That's,
yeah.
But
sure.
Netflix.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, yeah, if you don't have an Apple Arcade subscription, but you do have a Netflix subscription, here are a couple games you can play. So that's okay.
I have to imagine if this antitrust suit against Apple goes through, that will allow people to start sideloading stuff. Like, maybe there'll be just a website you can go to, like through your Netflix account, where you can more easily, like, rather than all these extra steps.
Yeah. It still is funny that Netflix, if you try to sign up for the app, or if you try to sign up for Netflix through the app, it'll go, yeah, you should do that through a website and then come back to us and it'll be fine, because they don't want to give that 30% cut to Apple, because that's kind of ridiculous when you think about it. Anyway, next game up, Desta, The Memories Between. These are all iOS and Android. I'm not going to keep saying that. This is from Us2. You know them from the Monument Valley and Monument Valley 2. Games that we like. This is also coming to Steam, though, so you don't have to have Netflix. You could just buy this on Steam. And this game is, what did Keeley say? It was a cross between Into the Breach, Hades, Dodgeball, and there was another thing in there that I cannot remember for the life of me. But it was a very weird combination of things. This seems kind of cool. It's an isometric turn-based strategy game. That's kind of where the Into the Breach comes from, and it seems like you're picking up things to clear up dreams, I guess. Like, each stage is a dream, and you're trying to knock things out of it to be able to keep the story going and keep the dream going and the narrative flowing forward. It seems kind of good. And if you tell me that the people behind Monument Valley are making a turn-based strategy game, I'll go, okay, I guess I should play that.
I know.
Yep.
And Monument Valley they're bringing that to Steam as well, so that's cool too.
Nice. Very cool. They showed Terranil. We've talked about Terranil before. We've done a quick look of Terranil from Team Next Fest last year. Devolver showed off Terranil. The Wholesome Direct, they showed off Terranil some more. There's a lot of Terranil going on. We don't know when that's coming out, but it previously was only announced for PC, I believe. Yeah. And now and now with this Netflix one, there's going to be mobile versions of it.
Yeah,
They
I wonder if that all will sync up in some fun way. I doubt it, but it would be nice if it did,
yeah,
because
that'd be cool.
that game looks very pleasant.
It does. I'm pretty interested in Terra Nil, that kind of reverse. They call it like a reverse city builder, where you're trying to take
Yeah.
a polluted land and bring it back to nature, and then get rid of all the machinery that you have that helped to do that before you move on to the next area. Pretty cool. They showed off a new Reigns game, Reigns Three Kingdoms.
Oh, that doesn't sound like anything you care about.
No, not at all. Yeah, they put the Dynasty Warriors into the Reigns game. I like Reigns. I haven't played any of the other Reigns games, like was it Reigns Her Majesty, and then there was a Game of Thrones one.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, I played 2 of those.
There's
a Game of Thrones ones too.
Yeah, I think they said this is the 5th installment, so there's
a
lot of Reigns out there. But this one has Three Kingdoms stuff. In the screenshots I saw Cao Cao in there. You know, commander of
course.
Why did I forget? Wei, the blue one. If you play the Dynasty Warriors, they're the blue one. So seems like that could be kind of cool. But at the end of the day, that's Reigns. If you've played Reigns, you know what Reigns is, and this is just another kind of swap that'll have some other mechanics to it. Probably the game of this show, if not the game of every show, Point P.
Yeah.
In fact, they were so high on Point P, they had to put up a Point P counter. Every time they said Point P, they added one to the counter. They said Point P like 40 times. It kept coming up in the show where Jeff would just be like, "Oh, there's a lull in this conversation. What if I just said Point P again?" Which, fair. Every time Point P is not on the screen, somebody should be asking, "What's Point P?"
Where's Point P?
Yeah,
dude,
exactly.
It's so good.
Point P is from the Downwell developer, so we mentioned Downwell when we said Lucky Luna, but this is really just reverse Downwell. You're not going down, you're going up. And Bobby, you've played a little bit of this, right? It's out now, so why don't you talk to us? Because this is the one where I was like, okay, I should play this, and realized, oh fuck, I don't have a Netflix subscription. I guess I'm not playing this.
Point P is one of those games that comes around, you're like, this is a perfect little mobile experience. It's a great slice game. You can get in and out of it really easily. Think Angry Birds a little bit, only on the slingshotting mechanic. So Point P is launched into the air, and if you tap on the bottom of your screen, it does kind of like a smash attack. That's how you kick off, very pinball-esque. So there's a giant blob creature beneath you that is hungry or hangry, and you are having to make like juice or potion or whatever for it to subside its hunger. There's some platforming you're doing to go up and do that, but it'll be like, okay, I want 2 blueberries and a cherry, and you have to get them in that order. And then when you land on a platform again, you'll drop that down and it'll get satisfied, and you can keep going up. There's a timer going down for you to get those items. If you don't, he will shoot fire up and take away one of your hearts. But you'll unlock things too. So you've got 2 points at the beginning to where you can jump, and then you can tap and hold the screen, and then you have like an in-air slingshot to kind of move around again. And you can bounce off of the environment too, and that lets you kind of get some really crazy combos. And you can pick up a bunch of other fruit and have bonuses going to your point. But they're at the end of each run, it accumulates your points, and then you'll unlock new things that you can use in game. Like I added an extra jump dash ability, so like now I get 3 of those after leveling up 3 times. It's incredibly addictive, very pleasant to look at, very responsive.
Yeah, I mean, Downwell was famously black, white, and red, really limited color palette, and this is as candy coated as it can possibly be. So many bright and saturated colors.
It looks like a giant, the slimes from Dragon Quest?
Yeah.
It looks like you're being chased by one of those.
Sure.
But it's very well done. I don't say that like enough about this one. Like it's one of the better mobile experiences in recent years that I've encountered. Like it is very well done, and one that like I've been playing pretty much like when I get done playing games on my computer and I'm laying in bed trying to fall asleep, I'll probably go through a few runs on that and then pass out. And that's how I've been playing that one.
Nice.
It's really
maybe
good.
when the next season of I Think You Should Leave comes out, I'll get to play Point B.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, Netflix, a lot of good stuff.
And then lastly, I mean, they showed off other stuff, but the last thing we're going to mention here is a game called Spiritfarer, which is out now on other platforms, and I believe didn't do a single thing for anybody on this show. Just something we're really not interested in. So
Did not
I
care
don't
for
see
it at
any
all.
reason for us to keep talking about it. No, I know Bobby had a very strong experience with that game. And it's cool that it's showing up on Netflix. It's cool that more people are going to get a chance to play it, even if those more people are just people with Netflix subscriptions.
I didn't think that it had a mobile port yet.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Isn't this the mobile port?
Yeah, I was just trying to, like, that was the thing that I walked away from this with, is that, like, this was some pretty wild games being brought to their platform, like, nice gets for sure. I just didn't realize that they were even in the works, I guess is the best way I should put it. Like, I didn't know they were coming.
Yeah. They also announced some shows based on games. There's a Dragon Quest anime looking thing. There's another season of Cuphead, or just more episodes of the Cuphead show. We're not going to talk about all that. So let's skip through Geeked Week and move on to the Wholesome Direct, which this show has been pretty consistent for the last handful of years. They've found their cadence of, we just have a couple people who, you're not quite doing ASMR, but they are just talking really nicely, and we're going to talk about the games that are coming out. We're just so happy about these games, and that's fine. That's great. It's a different thing. They found their niche with that. And the whole thing with the Wholesome Direct is that no killing, no shooting.
If Animal Crossing was a game show, it would be this show.
Yeah, sure. There you go. That being said, I think the shtick is running a little bit thin, in that I feel like we're getting a lot of the same kinds of games these days out of the Wholesome Direct. And I'm not sure about this, but maybe I don't know if it's them choosing a lot of similar games to be in the Humble Direct or be in the Wholesome Direct, or if developers are intentionally making games
for this
for the Wholesome Direct. I don't know. Yeah, some chicken and egg situation, but I find at least that we've fallen into a bit of a trap. I call it the 3 Fs: farming, fishing, and photography. Don't spell check me on that one. But you get a lot of those. Especially this year, there was a lot of farming. A lot of crafting. And then I would also kind of throw cooking in there as like a subset of farming. Just a lot of that stuff.
Slice of life games. A lot of slice of life games. And they're very cute and chill, cozy vibes is what, people would throw out there. Like, it is very samey. I will give you that. Like, there's not.
And a few years ago, that was fresh. That was so fresh that we're trying something new here. We're going after a different class of games.
Yep.
And this is so good because every Xbox and every PlayStation game is about shooting and killing and blah blah blah. And okay, this is nice. Look at what games can be. And now it's okay. Well, these games are always just this. So I tried to pull out more of the interesting ones here.
I typically really like those types of games.
Sure.
Definitely.
Bobby's our resident crafting man.
That's me. I'm the craft man.
And there's plenty here for you. You can feast.
I will.
On all this crafting.
We feasting on the crafts.
But I did try when I picked the games that we're going to talk about here, because there were so many games. And if you want to check them, I believe wholesomegames.com is the URL, and they've got everything listed that they showed, and they have all the platforms that they're going to, and they link out to either Steam pages or Twitter pages or to game websites. It's very well done, especially compared to how Netflix just kind of throws a recap out there that doesn't really tell you anything. But anyway, I'm going to go through some of these games relatively quickly. They showed off more Terra Nil, again, to be announced. We don't know a date on that. They showed a game called 30 Birds, which is coming to Steam and consoles, and has a release date of TBD as well.
30 or dirty?
30, but when they showed the developers, they talked with a bit of an accent, so I thought it was Dirty Birds for quite a bit.
You
Until they
dirty
actually
bird.
showed the name. It was quite good. Anyway, this game looks cool. It's kind of got a pop-up book aesthetic. It plays a little bit like Fez in that there are these 3D objects, but you're playing on the surfaces, on the 2D surfaces of the 3D objects. So you're going around different surfaces, and it seems like there are 30 birds that you are talking to or finding. It looks like it's kind of got some Paper Mario action to it from the way the characters move. Lots of good art, lots of really good music. That one I think is pretty cool. I'm going to keep my eye on that one.
Available when it's ready, according to Steam.
That's right. How to Say Goodbye is coming to Steam, iOS, and Android sometime this year. This is a narrative game about death and about grief. It actually reminds me a lot of Spiritfarer theme-wise, thematically. But this game is a puzzle game. You're moving tiles. Got a really nice look to it. The way that you can shuffle these tiles vertically on either axis, and you're kind of moving things to puzzle them out and get them to the right spaces. But it's about moving on and letting go, and it seemed pretty cool. I also want to check that one out sometime here in 2022. Fall of Porcupine is coming to Steam, TBD. This one, big Night in the Woods vibes, just from like, hey, it's a bunch of small animals. It's a 2D world that you're walking around through.
Yep.
No platforming that I can see like Night in the Woods has, but this game is about the healthcare system, specifically a critique of the healthcare system in America.
Wait, whoa.
Apparently it's not good. I don't know if you guys know this, but healthcare system here, not great.
Which one are you talking about, Chase?
Fall of Porcupine.
Fall of Porcupine.
Yeah, I believe there's a porcupine that is in the hospital, and you're like a bird maybe, or
okay,
some small animal that's a doctor, and seems more like a narrative experience of dealing with that. Moving on to Odada or Adada, however you want to say it. Coming to Steam, TBD. This one's pretty neat. It's a city builder / music loop maker. It just like throws a bunch of pieces on the ground for you, and you build them like Legos onto these different planes, different objects. And when you place these little pieces or houses at different points, they make music on the loop. And then there's lots of different scenarios where you do that to change the way the music sounds, or have different musical levels that they're going with. It's really, really bright and colorful, really cool looking. Seems like a fun one. I'm usually not into loops. I know Bobby, you and me and Matt Jaguar talked about the Loop Maker app that was on Playdate, one of the games that showed up there, and that was something that none of us really messed with. But I think in this context, with the way that it's built, I'm way more interested in trying this out and maybe making some fun music, and just playing around and having a good time. They showed off Ooblets. We like Ooblets here. We're Ooblets fans.
It's a pro Ooblets podcast.
Ooblets is going to 1.0 sometime this summer, and it's coming out for Xbox, Epic Game Store, and Switch. I'm very excited. I'll finally get to play Ooblets and not just watch and listen as other people talk about how cool Ooblets is. So pretty excited about that one. They showed off a game called Bubblegum Galaxy that's coming to Steam and consoles sometime in 2023. This, I wrote down, it's Twee Dorfromantic. Dorfromantic, if you don't remember, that's the one where you're placing these kind of hex tiles. It kind of looks like Catan in that way, Settlers of Catan. And you're placing those tiles. This game, very similar. You're placing those hexagonal tiles, but you are rebuilding the galaxy one tile at a time. Kind of pixel based, but it goes into some 3D scenes for story based stuff. It seems fun. I'm very interested in that one.
Nice.
Paper Trail might be one of the coolest games I saw in the entire week of all these game shows. It's coming to Steam, Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, iOS, Android, basically everything but Stadia, and who knows, maybe it'll come to Stadia as well. This one's supposed to be coming out Q1 of next year, and it's a top-down puzzle adventure game where you're actually folding and tearing the world itself.
I'm watching the trailer for this.
It's so cool.
Really
it's so cool. Like you're walking around this square place, and you realize you can't cross this river that's there. So then you can go and you can grab the top right corner of the level and fold it down like it's a paper airplane or something. And when you fold it down, that makes a bridge that now you can get over. It seems really cool. There was another game that came out relatively recently that was Nick Sutner worked on it, was the writer on it. But like you were taking pieces of the map and you were moving the map around.
Oh yeah,
that had
I know
a similar
what you're
vibe.
about.
Cardo.
Yes.
Something like or even something like the Pedestrian, that puzzle game that we were playing, Bobby, where you are physically linking the different pieces of level together. I really like the way this one is, that it's all one piece and you're folding and origamiing this kind of level together. I think that one's really, really cool. It's got a great art style as well. A Frog's Tale is coming to Steam next year. This is a pixel-based RPG that has some rhythm and puzzle elements. The rhythm stuff really comes into combat, where it's very much like an even more advanced Paper Mario. So you're doing your attack, and then you have to hit the button at the beat to do extra damage. Seems like a nice little RPG that way.
Yeah.
That one I just thought looked kind of fun.
Some Link to the Past vibes in there too.
A little bit, yeah, like the overworld stuff, and then when you get into a battle, it goes into that more Paper Mario side-scrolly looking thing. They showed off more of that Shim game, the game where you are jumping between shadows. That thing looks awesome. I want to play that as soon as possible. Unfortunately, it's TBD. Called Shim, SCHIM.
I'm trying to follow. So some of these, really quick, if you go on their website, there's a lot of these that have demos, so I'm just trying to open tabs to download stuff after the show that we can check out.
I don't think this one had a demo.
Okay.
Coming out TBD, but it's coming to Steam, itch.io, and consoles. This one I'm just really excited about. They showed it off at the Day of the Devs, and I was really impressed by that. I feel like they've shown it off before. It seems like something I'd seen in the past. But I'm just so jazzed for this. The idea that you're just like this little black shadow monster that's jumping in and out of shadows as people are moving, and you're trying to jump into their shadow so you can move along with them. Just super, super cool, super smart.
Yeah, this is really cool.
They also showed a little bit more of A Little to the Left, which Bobby and I are pretty excited about. Bobby, was there a demo of that we played? Wasn't that another demo thing that we played last year on last year's Steam Next Fest?
Yeah, we've played a demo for that, and it was briefly as a pre-purchase on iOS, but they pulled that. I think the game got pushed a little bit, but
okay. I think they also got a little bit more ambitious with it, because I remember when we played it, it looked very graphic design styled. Everything had this same kind of flat look to it, which was nice. It was a nice look. I'm not saying flat like boring. I'm just saying flat like
right.
The way the colors were. But now it seems like they're starting to add in some, not quite FMV, although some of their trailer stuff is kind of teasing FMV to get to the game. But it looks like there are a lot more textures, a lot more different styles that they're adding in with that. But this game is about OCD, where you have papers that are strewn around and you're trying to move them into certain areas, plants that you're trying to turn the pots to get them to aesthetically look nice. And one of the new things they announced here in this show, or maybe they showed it off at Day of the Devs, but there's going to be a daily solve that is, cool. I guess it's like a procedurally, I don't know if it's procedurally generated or how it exactly works, but it's probably going to take one of the existing puzzles that you play, and it's a variation of it. and then you'll get little badges for every day that you play those extra little levels. I think it looks really cool.
That game fucking rules. A little to the left, that demo was executed so well, and I think that you should absolutely check that game out. It is very well done.
It's really neat, and the more they show, the more I'm excited to play it. It's coming to Steam, Switch, iOS, Android, and consoles. So that was a little weird that it's coming to Switch and consoles. Okay, but
everybody
hates that thing.
Right, of course. The Switch isn't a real console in Bobby's eyes, so that's probably why they had to do that.
Inferior child's toy.
That's coming out sometime this year, so looking forward to playing a little to the left on whatever platform of choice you want this year. Next up, The Wandering Village is coming to Steam and Xbox either this summer or this fall. I guess they're not sure yet.
I struggle with the demo for that one.
Did you?
Yeah, I'll give it another go. But I love the way it looks. I was really excited about it, and I did not like the way it felt when I checked out that first demo.
Okay, I mean, I like the idea. It's a city builder that takes place on the back of this giant creature, and the creature is moving through the world, and it seems like the creature's going to move through toxic environments, and there's kind of a symbiosis of you trying to get on the good side of the creature to maybe influence it to go in different places to help you out and help you help it out. It seems like a cool idea. It is. It says city builder, but there seems to be a lot of farming going on in there.
There's a lot.
It's definitely hitting one of those Fs.
Yeah.
With You is a game that is out right now, and it's free, so no reason for you not to go and play it. It's on Steam and itch.io, and it's made by one of our good friends, Carol Mertz, who is she from St. Louis, or she was here in St. Louis for a while, making some games?
Yes, I think she was here making some games.
Carol's great. She's made awesome card games, video games, board game stuff, and this is another one that I think she made last year. Or at least was working on last year. But anyway, it is out, it is free, and it looks cool. If you've played a game like Snipper Clips, then I think you'd be right at home with this, where there are two differently shaped characters, and you're using them to solve puzzles and using them to fit into different shapes, but then also using them to boost each other and connect with each other to make other shapes. Seems like a cool thing that I would probably like, because I really like Snipper Clips.
Absolutely.
Then this was actually part of a montage that they showed at the end of just like quickly running through some stuff, but I thought a lot of the games they showed in this montage were way better than another fucking farming game that they had to have like a 2-3 minute presentation on. Bread and Fred is a game that is coming to Steam and Switch TBA, but it's a platformer where you play as two penguins that are connected by a rope. And you use the momentum of that to be able to climb up this kind of mountain. Whoever made this game must have played Knuckles Chaotix, and then they said, "Oh, what if I made a game that played not like shit, and unfortunately not have the Sonic characters in it?" This thing looks cool. I would like to play this quite a bit as somebody who did suffer through Knuckles Chaotix, because so much of it was cool, even if the main mechanic was actually kind of shit. Let's move on. Yeah. Paper Clay, all one word, PAPERKLAY, is coming to Steam and consoles TBA. This one looked really cool. It's like an evolution of Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, where you're moving around this kind of 3D box, this big 3D puzzle box, but you play as this chicken that kind of goes over the different surfaces and solves puzzles. It's kind of got this cardboard look though that looks a lot like cool. Tearaway.
Yeah,
reminds me a lot of Tearaway.
Yeah,
that one might be pretty cool. They also showed off Bloom, the game that you can play right now on your Playdate. This was the only time I saw a Playdate get mentioned anywhere in any of this. Which I'd like to see more Playdate content, but I get it's a pretty niche little console, and if you don't have one already, you're going to be waiting a long time for one. So I guess maybe
it's a while's out, right?
maybe it's understandable that they're not pushing Playdate games right now. Anyway, Bloom is cool. Bobby, did you show that off on one of our Monday streams?
I did. We have there's a video on demand you can go watch of our Playdate showcase, and I highlighted Bloom. I think it's a really cool game.
It is very cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So definitely check out one of our Casual Monday streams where we showed off that. And then lastly, their kicker, their one final thing was a game called Melatonin, which is coming out to Steam, Epic Game Store, and Switch on September 16th. Hey, a real date, an actual date. That's cool.
Yeah.
And this game also looks cool. It's basically a new Rhythm Heaven. It looks like a minigame collection that's going through a bunch of different dreams, and each dream has a different rhythm-based minigame to it. Seems great. If you liked Rhythm Heaven, you'll probably love this. If you thought Rhythm Heaven was too hard, it seems like they've added some assists into this game to make it a little bit easier and to get on the beat. I'm pretty jazzed for it. I'm looking forward to trying this one out as well.
Looks really cool.
And that was Netflix Geeked Week, and that was the Wholesome Direct. Again, we covered a fraction of the games that they mentioned on both of these shows. So if you're interested in seeing what else they had, there's plenty of ways to do it. Those archives are up on YouTube. And at least for Wholesome, you can go to wholesomegames.com and find all the fucking games they show. There were so many.
There's a lot there.
Games. Most of them are about farming. Anyway, Johnny, I think you're up next to talk about the Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase.
Yes.
I'm sure at least half of that is interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I see
the
what
Xbox
Chase is doing.
I don't.
Chase
I'm the guy who doesn't like Bethesda. Hi,
yes.
I'm Chase Kennedy. I don't like Bethesda.
He's going to tell you he's a vegan next also.
Yeah.
You want to know if somebody doesn't like Bethesda, give them enough time, they'll let you know.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Johnny. Excite me.
Yeah, so they kicked things off at the Xbox and Bethesda Showcase by showing off some gameplay of Redfall, which is that 4-player cooperative like vampire hunting game.
That's Arcane, right?
Yes. It's made by Arcane, the people that made Prey. I think it might be the same team that made Prey. And I think it looks all right. I mean, I don't know. I'm not super high on Redfall. Bobby, did you check it out? What did you guys think?
I think it looks cool. These types of games are difficult for me because I think they are completely reliant on you having a group of people to play them.
Yes. So
and
I mean,
in this instance, also a group of people who understand their roles, because this isn't Left 4 Dead. It's not just, hey, I picked up these different weapons, but everybody functionally plays the same. It's this guy's the sniper who can go invisible.
This guy's the tank. Yeah, exactly.
This girl can make bouncy, weird telekinetic things for you. And also, everybody is so goddamn chatty. Oh my god, would they not shut up during this?
There's a lot of banter happening between the characters. I mean, look, it's going to be on Game Pass, so I assume Bobby and I will probably check this out some Friday after it comes out.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys can't get enough of these vampire games.
They're good.
It's true. Also, we saw Hollow Knight Silksong.
That doesn't sound right. That's not a real game.
Is also coming to Game Pass on day one. However, they did not give a date.
Oh yeah, what day one is that?
Exactly.
Which one day is that?
I played about 10 or 15 hours of Hollow Knight on the Switch, after which I just kind of put it down because I was like, this is okay, but it's just Metroidvanias is just not usually my jam. So I appreciate Hollow Knight. I know that it has a lot of people who really love that first game.
Very dedicated fan base.
Yes. And are frothing at the mouth for this to come out. So I'm glad that they at least got to see some new gameplay for that. And hopefully it comes out sooner rather than later. I didn't even realize this until I saw the extended showcase where they talked to Justin Roiland. But this High on Life is made by...
You didn't see like 5 seconds into the trailer where it said from the creator of Rick and Morty?
I was watching this while I was also working, and so I somehow missed that. But as soon as I saw like the style of like how these things like, okay, that makes total sense.
Or also just listen to the gun talk for literally 1
5
second.
seconds. Like, oh hey, it's Morty. And this is a game. It's a first-person shooter where you're Gatlians is the name of the race of aliens that
I believe
are the guns, and it looks stupid.
Yes.
Stupid, but kind of good. Like honestly, the only thing that's a bummer for me is that it's Justin Roiland. I'm a little bit sick of all that at this point, but this is the closest anyone's come to making a Oddworld Stranger's Wrath 2, and for that I have to salute.
Yeah, and it's also going to be on Game Pass, so I'll be able to check it out. No additional cost. Let's see. Riot added a bunch of benefits to Game Pass, stuff with League.
You can play all their free-to-play games for free on Game Pass, but you get like a little bit of extra shit.
You get some extra stuff with it, so that's cool for people that like those games.
Sure.
They show off some gameplay of a Plague Tale Requiem. I never played the first Plague Tale. I heard it was good, and also terribly, terribly depressing. So, did either of you guys ever check out that first game?
I got to
no.
I got a little with you, Johnny. I don't think I've ever heard of a plague being a good time, my friend.
Well, let me tell you that COVID-19.
I tell myself that I'm not going to play any game where there's just a sea of goddamn rats that will murder and maul you. That's just not my thing. It almost was the reason I put down Dishonored.
A lot of rats.
A lot of rats.
And we got our first good look at the next Forza Motorsport proper. So it's not Forza Motorsport 8, it's just Forza Motorsport. And
the Forza Motorsport.
Yes. And Chase, Bobby, let me tell you, those wheels,
are they round?
Real round. Very round.
Nice.
And ray traced round wheels.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I am much more of a Horizon man. I prefer an arcade style racer over a sim type racer, but I know, this. I feel like Forza Motorsport has overtaken Gran Turismo and probably is.
Yeah, 100%. It took it over like 4 games ago.
Yeah. But just also with the way that GT7 came out.
They kept making Forza games. They stopped making Gran Turismo games.
They did. And then they put 7 out and
then they made bad Gran Turismo games.
I don't like the real semi racing games, but I think that they look like a spectacle, and considering I can download it just to see what it looks like.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, like I haven't played a Forza since 4, like a Forza Motorsport. I mean, since 4.
I think that was the last one I played too, because when I first got an Xbox One, it came with a Forza Motorsport.
Okay.
And I played a decent amount of it, and then I discovered Forza Horizon and never touched it again.
So Motorsport, Bobby, you might actually end up enjoying it because, like Horizon, there are a lot of assist options on there to make it not such a brutal sim. And I found myself having a good time with it, no matter how hard or easy you wanted to make it for yourself.
Yeah,
it's a solid series, but like Johnny said, also Horizon exists, so
I
kind of don't need to play a Motorsport. And we did get more Horizon news out of this out of the showcase, which we'll talk about here in a bit.
Yeah, Flight Simulator's getting some new planes, helicopters. You can fly the Pelican from Halo.
Goddamn Pelican!
That's pretty cool.
It's the best Halo thing to come out for years.
Is there a Pelican in Infinite?
Yeah,
like that's the first thing you're flying in, isn't it?
That's the I
just didn't know if this got that before that did. I couldn't remember.
No, it didn't. Good, nice, well played. Overwatch 2, whatever the fuck that is.
Sure.
Gonna be free to play. And we saw a new hero. I don't remember their name. Early access comes out October 4th for that. And
only for the
cavalry
PvP stuff.
What's that?
Go ahead.
It's only for the PvP.
Right. The PvE
Oh.
content, the campaigny stuff. Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
very well.
I don't know. After hearing some
After
general
all that.
impressions, yeah, I don't know. I played a lot of the first Overwatch.
Yeah.
Like for those first couple years that it was out, and I have no real passion for this game, despite how much I loved Overwatch.
I enjoyed the first Overwatch quite a bit for a while, and then I got out of it because I just wanted to play other games. But I got out, I guess, before things went bad, quote unquote. Like it seems like from a lot of different opinions that game has transitioned to serve the esports players more and more and serve the casual audience less and less.
That's a shame.
And it's made it a worse game overall because it's serving a smaller audience, which I guess is understandable. Those are your more dedicated players. Those are the people who are sticking with you for longer. But at the same time, it turns it into a different game. And Overwatch 2 seems like maybe it's not learning the lessons that you should have learned from Overwatch 1.
Yeah.
Also, that whole Blizzard thing.
Yeah. Aura, History Untold looked like an interesting strategy game where you get to redefine events from world history, so you can play as the Mayans or the Incans, and there was like a lot of different tribes that you could play as from different periods of Latin American history, and altered the course of history in the game, which I feel like there's another game that did. I think Humanity might have done something similar to that.
You mean Humankind?
Humankind.
Humanity.
Yes.
Second one?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
another game, what's it called? It's Civilization.
Yeah, it's a Civ like.
Yeah, it's that. It's one of those.
It's one
In
of
fact,
those.
man, I mean, it's the same genre of game, but also this trailer, I was just pointing at the screen the whole time and going, Civ. It's just this is Civ. This is Civ,
It's
right?
just
And then
Civ.
it was like, we're not Civ. Like those character models looked a lot like Civ character models.
Yep.
Like it wasn't just, hey, you made a 4X game. You made Civ.
Yeah,
Somebody out there made Civ.
If
baby.
they have-
Okay, that's fine.
if they have the same narrator or a similar style narrator as they do in Civ, then it'll be even more egregious. I got a new look at that Elder Scrolls Online DLC High Rise.
Scrolls on.
Woo!
Just trying to make it feel like a Bethesda press conference where
Exactly.
you get a woo girl out there about
Andrew
anything
W.
ESO ever.
Andrew WK wasn't there, unfortunately.
No, that's too bad.
The Pit.
It wasn't a party.
No. That's coming out June 21st, the day after my birthday. The Pit for Fallout 76 is coming out in September, which
Based on the worst Fallout 3 DLC.
I guess people are still playing that game, enough of them
Why?
to warrant a big expansion. It's
wild, man. It's wild.
it's crazy.
People do all sorts of dumb shit.
You know,
Like start a podcast.
we're living examples of that. Then we got a good look at some DLC that had actually been spoiled on Steam a few days before the show.
It was spoiled by 2 Forza Horizons ago.
So we're getting another Hot Wheels expansion
Sure.
for Forza Horizon, and it looks fucking awesome.
It
Looks great. Now, Johnny,
yeah.
as the guy who's actually played the actual Hot Wheels racing game,
Mm-hmm.
how do you feel about this compared to that?
I mean, it's just not really a comparison.
It's not. I guess for me it's weird. Like, if I'm Hot Wheels, if I'm the Hot Wheels license, we dipped our toe into the video games with the DLC the last time we did this. And now we can make our own game. So it feels a little bit weird that they're going back to the well let's go back to DLC. I'm glad.
Yeah,
it's fucking rad.
That Hot Wheels Unleashed game was made by a significantly smaller studio.
Sure.
Much less far reach than that. So, maybe people will play this on Game Pass or whatever, and they'll say, "Oh man, this was great. I wish there were more games that let me drive on a Hot Wheels track." And then they'll find Hot Wheels Unleashed, which is actually a really fun arcade racer.
Yeah. Was the shark car in Hot Wheels Unleashed?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, but like if they didn't do Hot Wheels,
a bunch of
go back
cars.
to Lego.
Yeah.
They can't really set. I mean, I'm just trying to think like what would be some other cool things that they could tie into.
Yeah.
They've done Fast and the Furious before.
I said cool things.
Go back
Chase.
to that well.
Hey,
yeah. Depends on the Fast and the Furious that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Some of them are cool.
No.
Some of them are extremely
Family.
cool.
No. No.
Speaking of not
X5
cool,
is one of the
Fast
greatest
and
action
Furious
movies
things.
of all time.
Oh, Johnny, I was giving you the transition of a lifetime.
Okay. Arc 2?
Yeah. How round is Vin Diesel's head?
It's, as round as it's ever been.
All right. Is it ray traced? Ray traced round head?
It is.
Nice.
But he likes to stay pitch black, so I don't know how much of those rays will actually be traced around him.
The escape from Butcher Ray tracing.
Oh, that's so much better than my joke.
I should probably just take this back over from both of you.
Family. Arc 2 is about family.
Johnny, let's get back to your hosting duties. Let's get this
guys.
Let's talk about Scorn.
Oh God,
it'll make us all feel like shit.
This game just makes me so uncomfortable. I can't even describe to you. It's like there's.
I'm not gonna lie. There was a part where that trailer came on that I thought it was just a dude holding his dick. I'm gonna say, I thought, like,
might as well be. That would be less upsetting.
Like, I remember as a kid looking at like the artwork for Tool and just being so put off by like how fucking gross it was. It's like somewhere between like, what if you and I know that people really it's revered and people like that shit, but this looked like some fucking Cronenberg body horror fucking Lawnmower Man.
Yeah.
Like somebody's jerking off in a booth watching you play this game somewhere. Like that shit was fucking
now we're talking
awful.
I can't. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it's a competent game when you actually play it.
Oh,
I just never will.
Everybody's like, it's a silent protagonist. I'd be fucking quiet too if I was in this game. I wouldn't say a goddamn word.
I'd play 1,000 Bethesda games before I ever would touch Scorn. I just can't do it.
If I woke up in that room, I would just kill myself. I'd be like, okay,
listen, here's the other thing. I can tell you right now, full confidence, even though this is a free game to download, I'm not doing it.
No.
I
might check out some garbage.
It might be
on this
free,
show.
but it has a cost.
The toll it takes on
that guy was holding a fucking chewed up foot long sub sandwich and yanked it out of his belly.
Yeah, I liked when it said like Scorn Scorn has shooting, but it's not a shooter, and it's like the shooting would get in the way of the vomiting that I want to do. You can't.
Scorn has clothes, but chooses not to wear them.
Can you imagine the being an artist at that studio?
No, a Foley artist.
Imagine just being like a normal person at that studio who's just like, hey guys, what's the new game we're working on? And then these people come from out of the back.
That game is probably just nothing but people pouring water on Jello for all the audio in that. Gross.
Okay, all right.
Fucking
moving
terrible.
on.
God, like it's I'm Sigourney Weaver and this is Scorn, and it's just that scene from Alien.
Somebody's like, what do you think our art? What should we base this off of? I don't know. You ever seen a prolapsed asshole? Like that's probably what this should be.
Okay. Then we got.
How do you follow that?
A game that we thought was Godfall at first.
It was just Scorn.
Yeah. Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn.
Okay.
Has big, like Godfall.
Not Godfall. You're thinking of Greedfall.
Greedfall.
It's very good though. It looks very good.
One of the falls.
I thought it was Forspoken there for half a second.
I said that myself.
That too. Yeah. I think this game looks all right.
Sure.
This wasn't a Game Pass game though, right? Or was it a Game Pass game?
This day one on Game Pass.
Okay.
in the notes.
It looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll check that out. Then we saw noted video gamesman, still a threat, Jeff Gershman revealed last week on the inaugural episode of his podcast that they were making a Minecraft RTS. And turns out they're making a Minecraft RTS. It's called Minecraft Legends. It looks good. You're controlling characters, so it seems like a bit of a hybrid, because normally, you are like in God mode, basically, where you're just over the map and you're scrolling around, but this actually looks like you're controlling a playable character and moving them around the map and building bases and I don't know. I'm pretty high on this one. I think it looks pretty good.
Well, you might not be alone, because this was the most watched trailer from this event.
Saw that. Yeah. And my son Jude is a huge
Scorn?
Minecraft fan.
Hard
What?
to believe.
Yeah.
It wasn't Scorn. That's
Wasn't Scorn.
There's one podcaster out there that seems to be pretty excited about Scorn, and it seems pretty on brand for them.
And you know who you are.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
You will pay for your
fuck.
sins, and you sicko. Go play Silent Hill instead of a good family game.
Let's see here. We got Gunfire Reborn, a 4-player animal FPS co-op game. It comes out in October.
I don't remember anything about that.
I don't either.
Okay.
The last
been
case
in early
of...
access for a while on Steam. It's like Borderlands, but with animals.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. I do remember that game.
Yeah. Ben Pack was a big fan of it.
What's that?
Ben, Giant Bomb Ben, was really into that game.
That's right. Ben Pack. The Last Case of Benedict Fox, a 2.5D side-scroller mystery game, comes out spring next year, day one on Game Pass. This one, I feel like... Hang on, let me do a quick Google search here. And I think...
Maybe I fell asleep.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of these games.
I remember this one. I thought it looked pretty good.
Okay.
Very, almost like Eldritch, Lovecraftian type stuff happening. As Dusk Falls, which is...
That's that narrative. Really interesting.
Yeah, it had that really almost
Tom
like
Goes to the Mayor.
storyboard art style.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one looked okay. It looked like, if it tells a good story, maybe it would be worth checking out. Naraka?
Naraka Blade Point?
Yes.
That comes out in like a week.
Does it?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. That's like a battle royale, right?
That's right. Yeah. So this, I don't know. I might check this out.
It's on Game
But
Pass.
it's a battle royale with melee swords and stuff.
Yes.
Pentiment got announced. That's coming out in October.
That's the new
It's Obsidian.
Obsidian. It's their narrative driven one. It's got to look good.
It has a very I watched the extended showcase, and the devs were talking about the medieval type art style that inspired them. I just thought it looked like Terry Brooks' animation from Monty Python in a lot of ways, which he was obviously influenced by medieval art as well. But the whole time I just kept expecting a big foot to come down and squash something on the screen, but it never did. Let's see. Grounded is getting a full launch this year in September.
Yeah.
The game is very fun, but they're adding story stuff. It'll have an actual, it sounds like maybe ending to the game that you can get to.
I stopped playing it after that first outing. I got hooked on it. I wanted more of the story that was coming, and I didn't want to keep. I don't know if our base got wiped in one of these updates. I'm curious what our base would look like in a 1.0 release.
It's just full of spiders.
Yuck.
Erebon Shadow Legacy is this. What is this?
I swear Johnny is just making up game names.
I am.
There's no way.
Oh, this is you play as the robot.
You'll have to be more specific.
Or
Yes.
no, you don't play as the robot. I'm sorry. You play as it's a third-person action game. Looks like you can turn into smoke, which is pretty cool. And then probably the thing that got me the most excited was Diablo 4. They showed off
It looks really
cinematic
good.
trailer and some gameplay featuring the final class, I think, right? They are going to have in the game, which is the Necromancer.
Yep.
I played as a Necromancer on Diablo 3 on the Switch, and it is broke as fuck and so fun.
I can agree. I switched over to a seasonal character that's a Necromancer, and it's not even funny just how much chaos and destruction you bring.
Necromancer wasn't originally in 3, right?
No, they got added in through DLC.
Yeah, that was
Yep.
that was in one of the expansions.
I remember
gives you a druid
class in 2.
Yes. So you got the druid, necromancer, barbarian, wizard, and rogue, I think is what you have.
Sorceress.
Now. Sorceress, sorry. For
the more I watched that,
it looks
and then
really fucking good.
They talked about it in the extended stuff. I'm really looking forward to that. And Diablo Immortal has been fine, but the more I played of it, the more I realized this just probably isn't the ideal Diablo experience that I want. And so
the cool thing they're doing with this is it's going to have couch co-op, cross save, and cross progression, and cross play. So if you're playing on Xbox or PC, so Chase, like depending on your interest or if you have Game Pass, I believe we could even parsec in and do some couch co-op with Diablo 4 and check that out for like a casual Monday or something, or even play together on Friday, because I think that we could do couch co-op and then link up with Johnny and all three play together that way.
And it
looks really cool.
No firm release date for that, just 2023. However, and this is obviously subject to change because game development is very difficult. All of the games that they talked about were coming out in the next 12 months as of the time of that recording. So we'll be getting a new Diablo game within the next year, which is pretty exciting.
And that's been delayed once already, or twice probably. But
I think, a couple of times. And also just everything happening at Blizzard and Activision is probably further complicated things. 'Cause I feel like somebody, like some pretty high-ranking people that worked on Diablo maybe got ousted from the company.
Well, if it comes out long enough, maybe we'll get it on Game Pass because it'll be part of their studio at that point in time.
Yeah, after that deal goes through, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Next, they showed off Sea of Thieves new season. Saw a game called Ravenlock. I'm not sure I remember this one. This is got a weird voxel art style. It's like an adventure game, like fairy tale. It kind of reminded me of Alice in Wonderland a little bit. Some of the vibes it was putting off.
Nice.
Cocoon.
That looks really fucking cool. This is it's one of the devs from Limbo, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes,
this game looks rad.
It looks fucking awesome. You have the different orbs that you're moving around. This is a high watermark for me for the week. Very cool. Fucking looking.
Yeah, you move in the orbs around and it zooms through and takes you to the next level. That was very cool.
It's a cool one.
Wolong Fallen Destiny. Is that the new team? It's the new Team Ninja game. That's right.
Hang on. Was it Destiny or was it Dynasty?
Fallen Dynasty. Sorry.
I'm not sure.
I'm on the trailer page for it, and it says Wolong Fallen Dynasty.
Okay.
New Team Ninja game. So expect lots of like fast-paced sword combat.
This is also in the world of the Three Kingdoms.
There you go. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell because Koei Tecmo's in it.
Yes.
We the Dynasty Warriors. We can do this.
And I thought this was one of the cooler announcements of the show, but Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royal are coming to Xbox and PC with Game Pass in October. So
Cool. And when are the Switch ports coming?
no news on that front, Chase, unfortunately.
Okay.
What's going on? Good stuff, Chase.
And to the disdain of PlayStation fanboys everywhere, a petition was actually started after this next announcement of Kojima coming out and saying that his studio are partnering with Xbox to work on a brand new game. No other details. They're going to be working with Microsoft's Cloud Tech. So Crackdown 4, I think, is the game that they'll be working on.
Ooh, okay. All right. Didn't he have to come out and say, like, hey, I'm still working with PlayStation 2? Like, I'm not...
The next day, he was like, "Yeah,
not
we're
on
still
that show, but
we still have a great
right.
relationship." Yeah, there was a whole petition that got like last I checked, it had almost 2,000 signatures. Like, cancel the Kojima Xbox game, and I feel like maybe
the Kojima Xbox game is still going to come out on PC. You goddamn babies, you children.
He needs to be loyal.
only PlayStation.
And finally, they wrapped it all up with our first look at actual gameplay of Bethesda Softworks' new game, Starfield. And of course, as soon as they did this and people saw how some of the gameplay actually worked, people were making No Man's Skyrim jokes, which was funny the first few times I read it.
Humorous.
But it's a Bethesda looking Bethesda game in space, and supposedly it has 1,000 planets.
It's a lot of planets.
Cool.
Todd Howard did the rounds.
He's got that jacket.
Still got the jacket. But he said in some interviews that it has the most handcrafted content that they've ever made for a game. It has like 200,000 lines of dialogue, 4 major cities that you can go to.
Wait, whoa, hang on.
Yeah,
1,000 planets, and there are only 4 cities.
Yep.
Okay.
So, did you see any aliens?
Chase, when are you going to play it?
What?
When are you playing it?
I'm probably not playing it at all.
You played Fallout, right? You've played Skyrim, right?
I have played those games, yes.
So you're not even going to try this one?
No, I'm not.
Why is that?
So I have realized after playing a number of Bethesda games that I do not like them. And I don't want to give them more of my money to continue to be frustrated by playing their games.
You'll have Game Pass by the time this thing comes out.
Okay. Then I will be using it to play other games.
Interesting.
There will be lots of other games on Game Pass, I am sure.
Interesting.
But you're right, Johnny. That was something I was definitely looking for. It's like, oh, well, 1,000 planets, there's got to be one that has something that's not a human on it. And like, nope, all humans. Oops, all humans.
Yeah, unless they're keeping that stuff under wraps.
Maybe, and they could be. They could be.
I don't know.
It's a 40 to 50 hour game, I believe. So that we got 5-6 minutes of looks here. They didn't show off any of that. They showed off robots. They showed off humans. They showed off
your ship customization.
Yeah, which
I said just looked like a bad version of the Kingdom Hearts shipbuilding game. maybe Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts.
That's pretty harsh.
My whole thing on it is like,
I was just being an asshole.
A few things that stood out to me.
I know what that's like.
One,
I know,
not very optimistic that they'll be able to deliver a promise that they're shooting for.
It's
Two,
just...
I don't know if I just want gun shooting in space, especially ballistic bullets in space. Make it a little bit more interesting on what you're going to be shooting. Give it some.
So you're not even hyped on this game. Why are you giving me shit about it?
I'm gonna check it out.
It's fun. Yeah, I'll play it.
Because I'm not going to.
Checking it out.
I'm not writing it off because it's just Bethesda. As somebody who plays video games, I feel like, especially as something that's going to be on Game Pass, the service I already have, and why I I don't want to form an opinion on something just because like a studio made it. Like I've played a lot of other games that like they put out some turds to. Maybe there's other things with Bethesda that we can talk about on, deeper levels. It's like I agree with you all on. Like there's been some shitty shit, but I've played a lot of their games thus far and like had a good time with it. I mean, Skyrim, arguably like one of the better games that we've all played in our lifetime. It's been a long time. It's been a decade, but I'm curious to see what this game will be. We've talked about it for 7 years now at this point in time. Like, I don't think for me,
and it's an entirely new IP for them, which is
like,
interesting.
I'm not sold on it. I have my hesitations, but I'm not going to say like I'm not playing it because it's Bethesda.
Considering how fucking hot their stuff comes in, and then you add in a whole,
they're going to have plenty of problems that are very much like going to be like, well, that's a Bethesda problem, and then we can start to be like, we told you so.
I mean, they in their keynote presentation for Fallout 76, like there's going to be catastrophic bugs that you like. They own it because they know how fucking broken their shit is when they put it out.
I'm looking forward to hearing Bobby's thoughts on Sonic Frontiers. Then that'd be cool.
Well, I don't have a service that will do that, but you are the Sonic fan, and you are going to be playing that one, correct?
Oof,
I'm not going to be playing that. I would never. I would never
what
play
I'm saying is,
that looks terrible.
If you go back to what I said, you would have Game Pass at that point in time, potentially.
Maybe. Who knows?
I will have Game Pass. Johnny will have Game Pass. This game is going to be exclusively on Game Pass, so I will be checking it out because of that. Sonic Frontiers, if it wants to bring its shitty ass to Game Pass, I will check it out for the sake of the show.
Okay.
As I check out
I don't play
a
every
lot of
PlayStation Plus.
Man,
I don't play every PlayStation Plus game.
From the goodness of your heart, for the sake of the show, I'll play this bad
I will play
3D Sonic game.
I will do it.
That game looks so bad.
You know what, Bobby? I will buy you the bad Sonic game if you play it.
That's revenge for Cyberpunk.
Do it.
Sure, I'll do it. I'll give you $60 right now.
I will play.
You know what? I'll even give you $70.
I will play the deluxe edition for science and make sure that we all can come in and watch and ask questions. And
I'll be on the quick look. I'm not touching a controller.
Yeah. With that game. Chase, I've been playing some Sonic Advance on my pocket.
That's a fine game.
Game's all right. Anyway,
of the 3 Sonic Advance games, there's like 1.5 good ones in there.
I played Sonic Advance 2. Is the one I played.
That's the one I like.
That was the Xbox Bethesda Showcase.
You know what? A lot of games, Johnny. So much so that I'm going to give us a very brief rundown of the PC game show because there is some overlap here.
A lot of shit.
There's a lot.
It's a long list.
If you thought there was a ton of shit in the other stuff that we talked about, holy shit, the PC gaming show. How did we feel about the show in general? The
way that the show's laid out?
Yeah.
I mean, they always try to do some real gimmicky shit on this.
Yeah, and I didn't watch it. So
this was the tamest, I think.
Out of your element, Johnny.
And that's
usually am.
Like, nobody got ran over by fake trains or tied up or anything like that. But
yeah, there was, what was it? Is it DevBot?
Yeah, DevBot wasn't there.
This year.
There's Mr. Caffeine.
It walks.
He's in a shallow grave somewhere.
I think that they enjoy what they do a lot. Yes, gross. I do think that
Mr. Caffeine presents Scorn.
Oh. But I felt like the 2 things that stood out to me that were like outside of the trailers. I don't know if I liked how, and I know why they do it, but like it felt very sponsored, and that's a bummer. But I think that some of the writing edges on that Borderlands level of like, this is the type of like tongue-in-cheekness that we're going for. And it's not my humor, but
Yeah. There's I think it's really interesting to compare this show with the Netflix one, because that one is 2 people who were cheesy but charismatic, and also we're kind of just having a conversation. Whereas the PC gaming show, those 2, Mika Burton, LeVar Burton's daughter, and Day 9, I think is the guy's name, based on his StarCraft handle or something. Those 2 felt very scripted. I mean, they were on scripts. In fact, the best part of the show was at the very end where they did bloopers of them reading the lines and
Yes.
breaking up and actually being human beings for once. And
Yes.
that was like, okay, this is pretty good. What if we did the show like this and not so terribly scripted? The other part that stood out to me, and I'm sorry, we'll get to the games here in a second, but the other part, they brought out one of the developers from Frost Giant to show off the Stormgate, that new StarCrafty looking RTS from the people who made the StarCraft. And then after they were done with the interview, the guy Day 9 is starting to talk about another game while the developer is still just standing there, and he talks a lot. And the other guy, the Frost Giant guy, is just like, I guess I'll just be around as you talk about a game that's not mine. And like he even like turns and asks him a question at one point. You're like, what the fuck are you doing? Let this guy leave. He doesn't know anything about these other games. He's so busy making his own game. Leave him alone.
I'm going to talk about the games from the PC Game Show. I'm going to try to.
Go for it. Yeah.
And we'll go through. There's a lot here to get through, so I'll do my best to break it down. I'll try and bring up games that are for sure coming out this year, because I think that's important. There's not a lot of those. So the first one that they showed off was Solstice. I can't remember if we've talked about this in another capacity. It reminds me a little bit of like an Atlas looking type game. Highly stylized. You have what looks to be a spirit following you that looks kind of like kind of a turret almost, but very flashy, high style with it. Hack and slash. It looks like it might play like a Nier game. What was that other one?
Like 3 games coming out that all have done this. There was one in the Wholesome Game Show that was called like Solitaire.
Yes.
We have Solstice, and then that came out this month. Soldiers.
Yes.
Like, Jesus, guys. Okay, we found a new naming convention, and we are gonna just drive it right into the ground.
I think it looks cool. These games aren't necessarily like my cup of tea, but they do have a look to it. A studio that we all are big fans of, though, Clay, they have a new game that they showed off, which it looks to be a pretty big brawler type game. It's called Rot World. The interesting thing about this one, it's going to be going into early access, but when they showed the ending off to announce early access, it says coming in 2024, and then it switched to a 3, and then it switched to a question mark. So who the hell knows when Rot World might see any daylight there, but it looks like a Clay game. It's got a really great look to it, and I'll keep an eye on that one because I like Clay.
Well, what was interesting, though, is right after that, the next game they showed, you're like, oh, cool, I guess Invisible Ink 2 or Invisible Ink's coming to a new platform. I mean, we're still talking about Clay, right? And then they're like, no, this isn't Clay. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yes. Tactical Breach Wizards is a game that maybe one of my favorite games shown through all of these. One that I can't wait to check out. Coming from the same developer as Heat Signature. You are
Gunpoint. Yeah.
And Gunpoint. You're looking like it looks like two different wizards that are working. Kind of an.
I think they showed a third party member in like a character select screen, so I think there might be 3, maybe more.
But you're seemingly going up against like SWAT scenarios where you are fighting against those with like ballistic bullets and pretty normie weapons, but you are wizards that have the ability to use your abilities to shoot shit across maps, hover boards up on windows, breach into it. It looks fucking wild.
Real dumb. And
it looks very silly, but it looks like a very strong tactical game, and knowing it's from the developer of Gunpoint Heat Signature, I bet those mechanics are going to be extremely on point, and I want it. I want it bad.
Absolutely.
Wizards.cool is the website.
Yeah.
Great. That's great.
Very good stuff.
That's amazing.
They did show a game called The Invincible. I think this looks very interesting. I don't quite know what the gameplay will be like, but this one showed kind of a narrative heavy planet. Like you are in a first person game, crash landed. There's some bad shit that went down, and you see some robot going rogue, but you also have this scanner that you're using to piece together what happened. Really cool look to it. Seems like it could borderline maybe like horror-esque, so I don't know how much I'll get into it, but it does have a good vibe. Remind me a little bit about Oh my God, the game that came out on PlayStation starts with an R. Bullet Hell.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
It is a hell. They just came out with a co-op version of that. Time loop game.
Returnal?
Returnal. Yeah.
Aesthetically, it reminded me of Returnal. F1 Manager is coming out this year. I don't think either one of us are super into that, but that is a game coming out August 25th. They showed off Endless Dungeon. That game looks really rad. They're opening that up for an open dev playtest. That's a squad-based game to check out. Really cool. Can't wait to see what that's all about. There's a game that I'm super excited for called The Altars. This looks awesome. This is the Frostpunk, I believe, is the developer for that. Also, Children of Morta. It's a pretty wonky trailer. It's Multiplicity, it looks like, and it is a crafting-esque game, but you're not crafting the building in places as much as you're crafting these alternate versions of yourself. So they're not clones, they say, but alternate versions of you that have different skills that you will need to get this ship back online and to escape. And it looks really interesting. Great look to it. I don't know when that's coming out, but The Altars looks wild. They did show off more of Potion Craft, a game that we have played on a quick look here. It's coming out of early access in Q4 of this year. That's a really fun game. Everybody should go check out Potion Craft. A game that we streamed this past Monday called Nitro Kid is an 80s fever dream take on fights in tight spaces. If you are into that, which we are, check out that demo. It's available on Steam right now if you're watching live or listening to this Friday. We got Dune Spice Wars. They talked a little bit about that, and Northgard. They showed off some new stuff coming to Northgard, and they gave a bit more in-depth look to Dune. I think that, Johnny, from what you shared, you enjoyed it, but you wanted more from it, and just kind of waiting for it to get a little bit more fully baked, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I will definitely dive back in once it's more fully featured.
Another one that they showed off that I've gotten really close to picking up, but might pick it up now that it's adding co-op, because it looks like it'd be a fun game for Monday nights. It's called War Tales, and this is a really interesting. It's got an old school vibe to it, but you are managing a party. It's got some turn-based tactics into it. Kind of I don't know what century I would say it's from, but it certainly looks rough with what's going on. But I think that is a fun-looking game, and one that I will probably end up picking up now. I've gotten very close a few times, but now that they have co-op on it, I will be checking that out for sure. Another one, I think it's pronounced Abyssals. That looks awesome. This is, again, right up my alley. Crafting, resource management, gathering, building out space, all those things that I like a whole lot. That's a 2023 game. What was another one that they had? They showed off a ton of System Shock. They even had one of the original developers on there to chat about that remake that they're coming out with it. I never played System Shock.
Me neither.
No. There was like, hey, I'm Warren Spector. I'll be here for 1 minute, and then they spent like 5 hours talking to some other developers. And I'm like, you have Warren Spector here. Talk to Warren Spector. That man's a fucking legend.
Yes. Pretty wild.
Yeah.
They also showed off that game Super People, which I've not played, but from a battle royale perspective, this one looks pretty bonkers, and I know that people have been really into it. I don't know if they're adding more into this or if it's getting more content, but it is in early access right now, and you can check that out. Demon School coming to PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox. This is heavily inspired by Persona. It's got a look to it, some really, really pretty pixel art.
It's like it's you're right about Persona. I mean, it's set in a school. You have like friends that you're talking to, and it seems like you're building up supports or S-links or whatever. But the combat is turn-based strategy, which is rad. I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah, it looks cool. That is 2023. Next up, we have a game called Scorn that they showed off.
Tell me more.
Apparently, it's coming out and it's gross. They did show off Warhammer
coming out this October.
This October, yes. Sorry,
Yeah.
this October. Immortality. That's the game I skipped over earlier. I did not mean to do that. That is the July 26, 2022. I don't remember this one. I don't know if either of you had a chance to check that one out, but that is also a 2022 game.
Yeah.
We got, speaking of a 2022 game, Agent 64, Spies Never Die.
Yes!
We streamed it on Monday. We've got a quick look recorded for it. This is the GoldenEye game we deserved and never got. Currently out on demo, coming to early access in 2022, I think, from what Chase said on our quick look.
Right, yeah.
But it's a very well done.
It's a cool thing. It's a cool nostalgia throwback piece.
Yes.
That I'm way into.
Another game coming out in September that I have had my eye on for a bit that I think looks pretty cool is called Deliver Us Mars. That comes out September 27th, 2022. This is a very cool looking science fiction shooter, third-person shooter, it looks like. Really, really nice looking space stuff happen on that one. So I'll keep an eye on that. That's also coming to PlayStation and Xbox out this year. We've got Frozen Flame coming out in Q4 2022. Victoria 3 coming out in 2022. Another game that we've quick looked that they showed off here. I didn't get a whole lot of dates and times for it, but Fallen Aces, which is like a Dick Tracy-esque first person meets Doom. It's a ton of fun. It's got a really cool vibe to it. The combat's a lot of fun in that also. But we do have a quick look up of that, and
that was fun. That's a fun quick look.
Yeah, for sure. Being made by two guys, so they're working through that right now, checking it out. I can't remember this developer's name, but he finally got to show off Gloomwood, which looks to be kind of a PS1 era adventure exploration game. It has a look to it if you're into that sort of thing, but maybe not my deal. Johnny, for you, there is a game called Them Fightin' Herds. Version 3.0 is out.
Thank you.
The brony in you can be
such a brony. You have no
very
idea.
excited about it.
I think this did start as a My Little Pony fighting game, and then they lost the license or something.
It did.
It did.
I think, yeah. And they said, "Fuck it, we'll make our own pony fighting game." And apparently, the fighting game community quite likes it. Like the mechanics are solid.
It's got a very good following, and it's goofy as shit, but apparently it feels wonderful. They showed off a new update coming out yesterday for Core Keeper, a game that I've been checking out on Steam. I rather like this game quite a bit, but they added the Sunken Sea update, which gets you some boats as well. I will probably fire that up and check it out here soon because I think that's a neat game. It's essentially just the mining elements of Stardew Valley. It reminds me a lot of what the mines feel like, building out some stuff on there. Icarus is another game that I dig. This is a survival crafting, but a little bit more brutal on the combat and elements that you're up against. You start off on a space station, you come down to a planet to harvest it, and you have to build structures while you're there and then take those resources back up. They added the Styx map to this, so they're going to continually add things into it, but they just got a new map pack for it, so I'll probably check that out. And one of the things that I think is pretty cool that they did here is they added and they showed off and ended the show with a mod, which they showed off the levitation mod for Half-Life Alyx. And it's crazy what that community is capable of doing. Some really amazing work being done on the mod community. And hopefully, we'll see more of that. Highlighting.
It'd be cool if like Valve made things like this. Wouldn't that be cool? Like, what if Valve just
if Valve made video games?
Yeah, Half-Life video games. That'd be cool.
It'd be pretty neat, right?
What if they didn't require VR to play? Wouldn't that be cool?
That's a really well done VR experience. Cool. I'll give them that. It feels really good. I liked what I've played on that. It's very unnerving, but it's done very well. I rushed through this and I covered a fraction, arguably the longest show that we had the entire time. There's some really interesting stuff. A lot of it, very, very few are going to be this year. You'll probably be able to do some demos and you'll be able to check some stuff out, which we want to call out really quick. The Steam Next Fest is going on from June 13th to June 20th, 2022. They do this a few times a year. Chase and I have played through a handful of demos on our Casual Monday stream, which you can go check that out right now. We've also recorded 3 quick looks. Probably going to try and do it because I think that once I have them downloaded, I can still play them. I think.
Yeah.
So we'll probably record a few more of those, and I downloaded a few more demos that were probably in celebration of that from the Wholesome Direct as well. So we might play through some more on Monday nights for a bit to show off some more of those games, check those things out. We might do more quick looks, but the Steam Next Fest currently going on. Go check that out. And the other thing we will say, I cannot encourage you enough to go and wishlist games. Find ways to support if it's on itch. You can wishlist things on Xbox. There's just that helps, especially these smaller devs, get into the algorithm that helps them get seen and helps them get more eyes on what they're doing. And it costs you nothing. So if you are even curious about a game, and maybe you'll never buy it, but you just have a curiosity about where it's at, some of these early access games we talk about on here, you can follow until it hits 1.0. Wish list. Go to the games, do it. Chase did a great job calling that out. All the links that are on that Wholesome Direct page link to the Steam page to do that. Same for Epic. So link, and wish list.
I'm going to wish list Agent 64 right now.
There you go.
Already did.
Let's wrap up with some credits here. We've talked about Monday night being incorrect on this screen because we were going to play Monster Train, a game we like a whole lot here, but we did the Steam Next Fest, which started on Monday. We did a quick look for a game called Koromon, which is an awesome Pokemon-inspired, really well done modern take on that. That's currently up on YouTube. Go check that out. Tonight, we covered all those game festivals, and that concludes this year's what normally would have been E3 and all these other directs. I think Sony might have another one coming up. I know that there's one for Ubisoft. Nintendo is rumored to have one at the end of the month. We'll probably fit those more into our news categories for some of the what you've been playing episodes we have, unless it's something groundbreaking. But we'll have that to look forward to. Thursday or tomorrow, or if you're listening to this, go back and check YouTube again because we have Haiku the Robot, a Metroidvania with a ton of style and heart going up as a quick look. And Friday night, Johnny and I are really back on our bullshit with Monster Hunter Rise. We're going to be getting ready for the big event, which is on the 20th. We also need to find time to sneak in some Turtles because apparently that game got some really great reviews today, and that is going to be a fun game that all of us can play. That comes out on the 16th. One thing I'm going to call out really quick that Johnny and I agreed to today offline. We've seemingly always rotated games in on Friday, and we've invited Chase over to play a few of them, and that's been an awesome time. We're going to continue to do that, but we're going to add in maybe like the third Friday of every month, as long as nothing crazy comes out. We're gonna protect that Friday for Deep Rock Galactic. And Johnny and I also talked, because we've been paying for a server for Satisfactory that we've only played once. We might rotate those 2 games in every month, one time, and start to keep that going to break up some of these other things that we're playing. We'll see how it goes, but we're definitely going to keep Deep Rock in that rotation, especially like we're only going to be playing Monster Hunter for a bit, and we know how everybody here gets burnt out on that. So if you want to follow along with what we got going on, follow those links there. We will be playing a bunch of fun stuff. Chase, what do you got going on?
Same shit, man. Gamers on the Go, gamersonthego.com. That's my handheld video game podcast. The last episode was about the Playdate, when we got our grubby little hands on the cool yellow device. And we'll need to set up a date to do another one of those here in the coming weeks. Just some busy times making the scheduling work out for everybody. It's difficult. And then I'm playing SteamWorld Heist on my YouTube channel, Chase K Plays on YouTube. That game continues to be very cool, and I'll get a new episode out here real soon.
Nice. Johnny, anything that you want to share?
Nope.
Fair. We will be back Friday night with Monster Hunter Rise. Come and say what's up, but we will talk to you all then. Take care.